Well, I think the short answer is we absolutely don't know what kind of leader we have here. We have very little intelligence of what's going on inside those buildings. Mostly what we can see is through satellite imagery or through statements that they make, and they intentionally, and they know that, so they actually try to manipulate both what we can see in the air and what they publicly say to try to poke us. So we've seen the North Koreans bluster and do nothing. We've seen them bluster and do something. We've seen them say nothing and do something. So we've seen every possible combination. So I think trying to predict the behavior of this leader is actually very, very difficult. I think one of the great myths is that somehow the Chinese can control North Korea. This is a very isolated country which has really had to learn how to survive on its own. So the Chinese are interested in an independent North Korea, that they think that's useful for their geopolitical view of the world, but they can't control North Korea, and they don't. I think that's completely unknowable. We've seen assessments that say that the most likely scenario is that North Koreans would do something, as we say, tactical. In the past, for example, they've done artillery shelling. They sunk a South Korean vessel. The South Koreans, on the other hand, have sent very strong signals, is that if they do a violent act, the South Koreans will respond. So if the North Koreans do something, there is a potential for a response, and there is a potential for escalation. But I think anyone that can predict where this is going is just literally guessing. I do think the strong U.S. response in sending B-2s, sending F-22s, sending missile defense systems and radars into the region is not a provocative act. I think it does send a very strong signal that the North Koreans risk escalation, and I think that's more likely to reduce the potential for an armed engagement than increase the possibility of conflict.